She's texting you. She laughs at your jokes. She says you're such a nice guy. And then she goes home with the one man who barely said a word all night. The one she shouldn't be with. The one who never tried to impress her. The one who didn't care if she stayed or walked away. Why? Because women don't sleep with the man who makes them comfortable. They sleep with the man who makes them feel. There's a reason the so-called bad guy gets her body before you even get her attention. And it's not charm, it's not luck, it's psychology. This is not a game of kindness, it's a game of nervous system dominance. Today, I'm going to break down why the man with edge, mystery, and unapologetic energy gets what he wants, while the people-pleasers stay stuck in her inbox. Number 1, women don't sleep with nice guys. They sleep with impact. Let's get this straight. Women aren't attracted to cruelty. They're attracted to power, but most men confuse power with approval. Nice guys try to win her with favors, with compliments, with attention. They become available, responsive, predictable, and in doing so, they become forgettable. Because women aren't wired to crave comfort when it comes to raw desire. They crave a shift in their emotional state. They crave a spark, something primal. And nice? Nice doesn't spark anything. The bad guy, the one who doesn't ask for permission, the one who says no, the one who leads instead of reacts, he creates emotional turbulence. She doesn't understand why he's in her head. She doesn't plan to sleep with him that night. But she can't help herself. Because he carries 2 traits the nice guy will never embody. He doesn't need her validation. He moves through the world like he's already full. He doesn't offer compliments to gain favor. He speaks only when it adds weight. He's not the man trying to earn her. He's the man she tries to decode. And that mystery, that unpredictable depth, that's what women can't resist. Her body responds before her brain catches up. And here's the secret. He didn't chase her. He made her chase the feeling she had when he was near. That's stoic dominance. Because in a world full of men who chase women, she falls for the man who chases nothing. Number 2, why emotional risk feels like arousal, and how bad guys exploit it. Women don't get turned on by logic. They get turned on by sensation. The reason why bad guys get her so fast isn't because they're better looking or richer or smarter. It's because they know how to make her feel something real. And in the female nervous system, danger and desire feel almost identical. This is biological. When she's around a man she can't predict, can't fully read, can't control, her nervous system spikes, heart rate goes up, breathing changes, adrenaline pulses. And what does her brain say? This is attraction, even when it's not, even when it's fear or thrill or curiosity. The body can't tell the difference between danger and seduction because the response is the same. So what does the bad guy do? He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't open up too fast. He doesn't give her certainty. He gives her tension, and that tension becomes addictive. She can't figure him out, so she leans in. She can't predict him, so she texts first. She doesn't know if he cares, so she starts chasing him. And once she's emotionally invested in solving him, she's already surrendered, because now the connection isn't about who he is. It's about how he makes her feel. Nice guys remove all risk. They're available, they're kind, they're obvious, and in doing that, they remove all mystery. No spark, no suspense, no risk, and without emotional risk, there is no arousal. That's why she says, "I like you," but just as a friend, because he gave her comfort, but not energy. The bad guy flipped the switch. He disrupted her emotional rhythm. And that disruption, that's the spark. It's not about being cruel. It's about holding your energy, your mystery, and your boundaries so sharply that she's forced to feel something in your presence. And in today's numb world, that alone makes you unforgettable. Number 3, the alpha withdrawal effect. Why pulling back pulls her in. The average man chases. He texts when she doesn't reply. He explains when she questions. He doubles down when she pulls away. But the bad guy? He disappears. Not because he's playing a game, but because his life doesn't revolve around her response. And that withdrawal? It hits harder than any flirtation ever could. Why? Because nothing activates a woman's craving faster than incompleteness. Let's go deep on this. When a man gives a woman everything too fast, attention, interest, validation, compliments, her mind closes the loop. Her nervous system relaxes. There's nothing left to solve, nothing left to chase, no tension to hold. It's over before it began. But when a man starts to connect, gives just a taste, and then suddenly withdraws, she doesn't feel rejected. She feels unfinished. And the human brain can't stand an unfinished story. It loops, it obsesses, it replays the last message. It overanalyzes every glance, every word, every pause. And in that loop, desire multiplies. Now she's chasing a resolution. Now she wants to know what she did wrong. Now she's wondering if she misread him. And guess what happens when her thoughts are all about you? You become her emotional fixation. You become the problem she wants to solve. You become the space she needs to fill. That's not manipulation. That's emotional scarcity. The bad guy knows how to walk away without explanation. He knows how to hold back when she expects a reaction. He knows when to go quiet, not as a punishment, but as a statement. It's power in absence. Because while most men try to fill every gap with noise and effort, he lets the silence do the seducing. She starts imagining things, creating scenarios, filling in the blanks. And that imagination becomes more intense than any conversation could ever be. Women don't fall in love with the man who stays in their face. They fall in love with the man who makes them feel him, even when he's not in the room. That's the alpha withdrawal effect. It's not ghosting. It's not coldness. It's strategic space. And the man who knows how to create that space becomes magnetic. Number 4, why he never seeks approval, and she can't get enough of him. Most men enter a woman's world trying to prove their worth. They dress for her. They flex for her. They talk more. They laugh louder. They say what they think she wants to hear. All of it for one thing: validation, and women see it instantly. They might not call it out, but they feel it. And here's the brutal truth. The moment she senses you're trying to impress her, you've already lost her, because approval seeking is low-status behavior. When a man tries to gain her approval, he's communicating one thing: you're above me. I need to win you. But the man she craves, the man she can't control, he doesn't even consider approval a factor. Because his focus isn't on being liked, it's on being real. He says what's true, not what's safe. He shares what matters, not what sells. He listens in silence, not to respond, but to observe. He's not reactive. He's centered, and in that centeredness, he becomes dangerous. Why? Because when a man isn't seeking anything from her, not her smile, not her compliment, not her number, she has no power over him. And that makes him rare. That makes him unforgettable. Because now she's not the prize. Now she's wondering why he's not chasing her like the rest. She starts questioning. Why doesn't he try harder? Why is he so comfortable without me? What does he see in himself that I don't see? And that question, it creates curiosity. That curiosity creates interest. And that interest leads her into emotional submission. Because women don't want to be the approval giver. They want to be drawn into a world they can't control. That's why the bad guy always wins, and he doesn't need the win. He doesn't chase the moment, he doesn't lean forward, he pulls her in. And the deeper she falls, the more she craves the one thing he never gives away. His approval. Number 5. Dark polarity. Why being a challenge turns her on. Women don't fall for the man who makes them feel safe. They fall for the man who makes them feel something uncontrollable. That's where dark polarity comes in. The bad guy isn't just confident. He's untouchable, not because he's emotionally closed, but because he's not accessible in the way most men are. She can't just walk in and take his attention. She can't just pout and get his time. She can't just bat her lashes and pull him in. And that challenge? That's where her body starts betraying her. Let's break this down with no fluff. Polarity is about opposing energy. Masculine, still directional, grounded. Feminine, flowing, expressive, chaotic. When a man is too soft, too eager, too predictable, there's no tension, no pull, no spark. But when a man stays in his masculine, when he's calm in the face of her emotional storms, when he doesn't flinch when she tests him, flirts, provokes, or withdraws, that's polarity. And that polarity creates the only thing that truly fuels female attraction. Tension. She feels small in his presence, not in a demeaning way, but in the way a wave feels small next to a mountain. She feels emotional. She feels alive. She feels her femininity wake up, because his masculinity is undeniable. And that's what the bad guy understands. He doesn't try to impress. He doesn't try to please. He just is. He remains grounded, even when she flirts, even when she provokes, even when she tests his patience. He stays in his polarity. And that drives her wild. Because women don't want to lead the dynamic. They want to feel led. They want to test a man and feel that they can't shake him. They want to feel their emotional chaos crash against his stillness and feel themselves dissolve into it. That's what the nice guy never gives them. That's what the bad guy lives in. And that's why women sleep with the one they shouldn't. Not because they're foolish, but because they're wired to submit to the man who holds his power without needing theirs. Number 6, sexual energy isn't physical, it's energetic. You can have the jawline, the absolute, the car, the suit. But if your energy is soft, predictable, or needy, you'll never touch the part of her that opens the door to intimacy. Because sexual desire in women isn't born in the eyes, it's born in the nervous system. Let's go deeper. You walk into a room. You don't say a word, but everyone feels your presence shift the dynamic. That's energetic weight. And the bad guy, he's mastered this weight. Not through force, not through words, but through inner stillness. Command presence without the need to perform. And when women feel this, they react before they understand why. Their breathing changes, their posture shifts, their eyes track you without permission. That's not lust, that's energetic seduction. Because here's the truth, your words don't turn her on, your body doesn't either. It's how you occupy space. It's the emotional charge behind your silence. It's the calm pressure in your gaze. It's the way you look at her, like you've already had her. And you're deciding if you want her again. That's what penetrates. And this is what nice guys never understand. They keep adding more compliments, more effort, more availability. They overload the surface. While the bad guy masters invisible presence, he builds pressure without ever touching her. He lets her imagine. He lets her wonder. He lets her feel the intensity build inside her until she's dripping with curiosity. Long before he ever makes a move. This isn't about being hot. It's about being felt. Because once a woman feels a man's sexual energy and senses that he's fully in control of it, she can't unfeel it, and if he's not trying to use it, that's when she starts craving it. Number 7. She submits when she feels power, not pressure. She doesn't sleep with you because you earned it. She doesn't sleep with you because you deserve it. She sleeps with you because your presence overrides her logic. Let's get honest. Women don't respond to pushiness. They don't respond to persuasion. They respond to the feeling of power, held, not forced. And the man who wins is the one who never asks for access, but makes her feel like giving it is the most natural thing in the world. That's the bad guy effect. It's not about disrespect. It's not about manipulation. It's about emotional gravity. Here's how it happens. She's in his presence. She feels the weight. She notices how calm he is, how slow he moves, how he looks at her like he already knows her body, without touching it. And he never pushes. He never asks. He never begs. He doesn't even escalate fast. He just lets her drop into it. Because when a woman feels safe inside masculine power, when she feels claimed without being cornered, she opens, she submits, not because she was convinced, but because her body overruled her brain. That's the moment most men never reach, because they're too busy performing. The bad guy performs for no one. He just sits in his knowing. He sits in his silence. He knows what she wants, and he lets her feel it without pressure. Because pressure chases, power pulls. And when she feels that pull and realizes you don't need her to act on it, that's when she surrenders. Not out of weakness, but because your strength gave her permission to drop the act. That's the seduction most men will never understand. Now you understand the truth. She doesn't want the man who tries the hardest. She doesn't want the one who treats her best. She wants the man who makes her feel something she can't explain. The one who stays grounded, unmoved, unpredictable, not because he's cruel, but because he's complete, with or without her. The bad guy wins not because he's bad, but because he doesn't beg. He holds his power. He owns his silence. He walks through the world like he doesn't need anyone to understand him. And that's what makes her want to be the one who finally does. So if you're tired of being the one she calls sweet, if you're done watching her run to the guy who barely looked her way, then stop chasing, stop explaining, stop performing, and start holding your power, because she won't submit to a man who's trying to prove himself. She'll submit to the one who's already proven to himself that he doesn't need her approval to move like a king. If this hit you deep, comment below. Let others know you've stepped into real masculine presence. Subscribe for weekly Stoic breakdowns. Share this with a man who needs to hear it today. Support the channel